Okay, all right, so here we're going to talk about crumbing chicken pieces to make chicken nuggets. Earlier we made these chicken pieces and now we're going to flour, egg and crumb them. So the first thing we're going to do is I have all-purpose flour in this dish, so use flat dishes that you can easily bread and do your work in and easily move from one dish to the next. Here I have 3 eggs, and in here I have a little bit of panko breadcrumbs. So I don't season the meat, instead I season the flour and the eggs. So I'm going to put 1 metric teaspoon of salt into the flour and 1 metric teaspoon of salt into the eggs. I'm just going to mix the flour around a little bit, and the eggs I'm going to beat up. So here we have 3 chicken breasts that have been cut up. So 3 eggs should be about right, and then I probably have 2 or 3 cups of flour. I have about 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs in this dish. What I like to do is I like to have a few cups on the side because it makes it easier to bread it, and I'm going to show you how in a moment. And then the other thing I like to do is I like to have a big tray ready. That makes it very easy when you're doing a big batch. And then I cover it in wax paper. I put that on the bottom. Okay then, so one of the tricks with crumbing meat is to not get your hands dirty because with the flour, the egg and the crumbs, it's very easy for things to get gummy very quickly. So I'm just going to get some tongs. So I use tongs to take the wet chicken and put in the flour so that I'm not getting my hands wet. You can work with 3 or 4 pieces at a time. So you can use a spoon just to spoon the flour over, like that. And then once you have flour on it and your hands are not going to get wet, you can start to use your hands. I also like to use a fork because it helps to take the flour off. So you just pat off some flour, so it's only got a very thin coating of flour. And then once you have a few that are ready and all floured up, you're going to put them into the egg mixture. So the idea is you have flour, eggs, and then breadcrumbs. So lay it into the egg mixture. And then you're going to use your fork just to slide it under and gently turn it over. You want it completely covered in egg. And then once you have it completely covered, pretty quickly move it out. So move it out straight away, drain and lay it into the breadcrumb mixture. Drain and put it into the breadcrumb mixture. Drain, put breadcrumb mixture, and the last one, 4. So I find 4 is about the maximum. I always wipe my hands, get a bit of egg on it because that way it won't get gunky. Now, as you can see, it doesn't have any breadcrumbs on the top. So to make it easier, what I do is I just sprinkle breadcrumb over it, and then you're going to start to use your hand or a spoon to just put more breadcrumb over it. And what you're going to be doing is then patting it down so that the breadcrumb sticks to the chicken. And that's what you have. Okay, so same for all 4. Always, and you can sprinkle a little more on if you don't feel like it's completely covered, and then pat it on. And then shake any of the excess off. You want it generously covered, but you don't want any big lumps or anything like that. And the trick is that before you when you're putting the chicken in the egg, you do want to drain it well. Otherwise, you're going to get too much egg mixture in the breadcrumb, and it's going to cause your breadcrumb to get all clumpy. And then you're not going to add breadcrumb every single time. If you find that you have quite a bit of breadcrumb in your dish, what you can do is you can just put, say, 2 pieces of chicken in there and then spoon what you have over the chicken. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm just going to take 2 or 3 small pieces. So these are really small pieces, so they'll fit in easily into my breadcrumb tray and allow plenty of room for then still spooning over the breadcrumbs. So shake off the flour, put it in my eggs, shake off the flour, put it in the egg. And once it's covered with flour, it's going to be dry, so you can pick it up with your fingers without being at risk of your fingers getting all gummy. Use the fork to turn it over, pick it up with the fork, drain it nicely, and then lay it down in the breadcrumb mixture. Drain, drain, drain. Shake off any excess in the breadcrumb mixture. Drain, drain, drain. And shake off in the breadcrumb mixture. So here I have not too much chicken in here, and also I have plenty of breadcrumbs in there to spoon over. So I don't need to shake more breadcrumbs. I can just grab my spoon and spoon it over the top. What you're looking for is you really want to put breadcrumbs over it so that when you're handling the chicken with your hands, again, you're not getting any eggs on your hands, because otherwise your hands will get all gunky and that'll make it really hard to then handle. And then if your hands get gunky, then just wash them. It's no real problem. But the aim is just to be able to work quickly without getting your hands gunky and be able to continue. So the thing is, so the earlier video was about cutting up the chicken. And the thing really with cutting up the chicken is just to get it in thin enough and small enough pieces so that it's easy for it to cook up very quickly. Because when you're frying it on a high heat and very quickly, because that helps to seal the coating. But then it doesn't leave very much time to cook the interior. So if you have nice, thin, about 1 centimeter, 1.5 centimeter chicken pieces, and when I give that size, I mean that's the height of it, or the depth of it, then it'll cook in plenty of time, or in the time that's you're frying it. So that's it. I'm going to continue, but that's it for now.